Hello, my friends. Today is day 7 of Vlogmas. When I upload this video, it's a week of videos. That is really exciting. So today, we are doing something a little different. We're doing a Q&A. Here on my computer, I have 16 comments queued up, or should I say, 16 questions. I'm gonna answer every one of them, and let's do it. Okay. Starting with the first question, Matthew Harris writes, can you teach me how to spin a disc on me finger? I want to be cool. Alright, I need to go get a disc. One sec. Alright, shout out to Avery Jenkins. I got a dark mall right here, Color Glow PD. I don't know how well I can teach you, but I'll just tell you what I do. I place the disc right on my middle finger, and I just kind of get it to balance. And then it'll kind of come over time. You're not going to be able to do it that well, but just spin it. And then the more coordinated you become and the better feeling you have, the easier it'll be to kind of spin on the bottom of your finger. You can just see how long you can go. You can see if you can transfer it to your one finger and just do crazy stuff. Like it's hard to do because I can't do it on my left hand. It just doesn't work. Practice makes perfect. Moving on to question number 2. Oliver Richardson writes, when did you pick your first sponsorship and how did they notice / contact you? Okay, so for me, my first ever sponsor was Top Card Disc Golf, and actually that's not true. Technically my first sponsor ever was Birdman Disc Golf. Shout out to David Smith from New Mexico. But Top Card Disc Golf, a local brand, he just kind of dyed up some discs, put some decals on some shirts, you know. But the next one was Disc Mania. I kind of reached out to them, but there was some stuff going on behind the works. They kind of knew who I was. Shout out to Austin Montgomery for putting in a good word for me at Disc Mania. And I contacted them. That showed that I showed interest. And pretty much it was all history from there. It became just a beautiful partnership. So a little tip for you guys, don't be afraid to write certain companies. It shows that you're interested in that brand, and that's kind of what you want to see. I mean, if I had a disc golf brand, I'd want somebody to contact me because that shows that they're interested in my product. Never hurts to write a well-written email. All right, next question. Third question is, Stephen Carmichael, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. His question is, how often do you play full rounds of disc golf in the off season? Do you think there is an advantage to taking a break? For me, there's no set number of rounds that I compete in during the off season. It's basically when I have free time, I feel like it, and the weather's good outside. So tomorrow I will be playing a little tags match, and the weather's good. I'm gonna stick around for doubles. So potentially I'll be on the disc golf course all day tomorrow. That's great. It just kind of brushes up on what you already know. For my advice is kind of figuring out what level of disc golfer you are. You need to figure out, should I take a break? Should I go practice in the field? Or should I do other sorts of training such as strength training, coordination, etc., etc. For me, I've kind of figured out that in the off season, I don't really need to do as much throwing per se. I need more challenge in strengthening my body, learning how to be more coordinated, stretching, things like that. Because I've been playing for 11 years and I've thrown more frisbees than a lot of people. So my skills are all there. My muscle memory can pick up on throwing a disc very easily. I know what it takes out there. So it's more important that I strengthen other parts of my body. It'll end up strengthening my game. It kind of proved that in Switzerland. I only played maybe 1 to 2 times a week in Switzerland, but I had the best season of my life afterwards. I'd recommend you finding a good balance for you. If you're a newer golfer trying to improve, throwing discs, of course, is going to be very valuable. But you got to kind of have to go off what feels right to you. Moving on to the next question. Silverback Discs writes, everyone is talking about how Kevin Jones might be the future of disc golf. Being a young gun yourself that just had his best year ever, does this light a fire for you going into next season? All respect to both of you. You're great players. I have a lot of respect for Kevin Jones. I think the level of success he has obtained in his short time on the professional scene is incredible. I enjoy competing against him. He's very positive, he's very enthusiastic, and also very encouraging to all of his card mates. He's a pleasure to be around, a really great competitor. But him being the future of disc golf, I can see it, and I wish him the best, but I'm going to be competing for that future spot because I can't give anyone an easy ride, you know what I mean? But I look forward to seeing him do the best he can, and I'll do the best I can. Next question is by Federico Sorensen, and he writes, imagine you get granted a wish for whatever you want. What would it be? I would say, I don't want to be greedy, and I want a good challenge in life, but let's just say, if I could be granted any wish, I'd say I'd want to be in incredible shape the rest of my life. Because if I'm in incredible shape, that means I'm not getting sick, I can do a lot of things with my body, and it's not a limitation. My health's not a limitation. So be healthy and be strong. That would be probably my number one wish. And of course, getting a lot of money. Moving on to the next question. This is a long one. Danny Mitchell asks, question and answer comment. Hey there, Eagle. I'd like to know what you think about the increased interest from fans about the contracts being signed by the top players in disc golf. You, Paul Macbeth, and Ricky are some of the obvious talking points here, but I'm more curious as to how you feel about money and contracts in general becoming part of the regular conversation in relation to professional disc golf. Is this a welcome addition to the conversation that hints at the professionalization/popularization of the sport? Is there only a personal issue between a player and his/her sponsor? Are there any issues regarding sponsorships that fans tend to pay too much or too little attention to? I'd love to hear your spin as a growing point of discussion for the community. Thanks for everything you do to help grow the sport. Okay, I kind of spaced out and I don't even know what I read. I think he's trying to say, what do I think about contracts being like a focal point and a center point of the sport? I think it's good. It brings in a certain level of interest to the professional disc golf scene, because I know a lot of people probably just look at professional disc golfers and they think that their sponsors just give them discs and they just go out on the road with no money, and you're living in a van and you're scraping by every week. That's starting to be not the case for disc golf. We're moving in a direction where, like, the top players like Nate Sexton, Paul Macbeth, Ricky Simon, they're able to have a life, fly to these tournaments, get some decent hotels, eat decent meals, and not worry about whether they cash or not during the week. So to see that players such as like Paul and Ricky are making the most for themselves out there on the road, it's inspiring for others. I think it'll make people want to work harder to become a name in disc golf. And I think just altogether, it drives our sport forward in a positive manner. So I'm happy to be a part of it. I think I've gotten into a disc golf at a really exciting time. Yeah, it's exciting. I've talked in a little bit of loops there, but you get my point. Kasperi Parkinen asks, can you do updated video of Eagle in the House where you showed all your backup discs? I think that's a really good vlog idea. Thanks, Kasperi. Orkitos. I imagine you're finished. Moving on. Britton Limming asks, why do you think Paul Macbeth is a dominating force in disc golf? What makes him better than anyone else? I think it's a combination of things. If you see a lot of disc golfers, a lot of them don't have that much of a sports background. Looking back into Paul Macbeth's past, at least from what I know, he loved sports and still loves sports. I think that was his greatest driving factor. He was a very competitive baseball player, but he could do all sorts of other sports. So just the sports foundation is really strong in him. I know that I think he probably could have went pro in baseball, but he chose disc golf instead because he could be the #1 face of the sport. And just having that confidence right there really helps. He just has a really great drive. He knows what it takes. I think Paul is he's a different breed opposed to other people who have gotten into disc golf around this early stage of the sport. Diabolic Melon writes, is the MD5 replacing your Gator? Also, any news on the DD3? Love you, man. Well, I love you too. The MD5 is replacing the Gator. I'm getting some good throwing time with it. I actually really like it, especially for little short forehand approaches. Backhands are great too. It's just about finding the flatter ones. News on the DD3? I don't have that much news other than it's pretty great. It's really freaking great. Okay, what do we have next? Matt Criscolo. What's your top 10 bands / artists right now? Top 10, oh gosh, I can't even rattle that off right now. But I'll try and give you 5. Number 1, it's kind of weird. Each and every week I look forward to A State of Trance by Armin van Buuren and Above and Beyond Group Therapy. What they are essentially is a trance music podcast, which kind of means it's like EDM style music, and they do like a whole radio show about the latest in the trance world. So they play new songs from different artists. So I'm really enjoying that. But other bands that I'm enjoying at the moment are pretty standard ones, like Dance Gavin Dance. That's all I got right now, just at the moment. But you know my favorite bands: Circus 5, Grateful Dead, From Indian Lakes, The Deer Hunter. All those bands are really fantastic. Felix Vega writes, with the experience you've gained on tour these past few years, what's a life lesson you would teach your younger Eagle? Anything stand out as an aha moment? My younger Eagle, I would probably say always work hard and don't let the bad times get you down. Very generic, very cliche, but it's completely true. If I were to tell myself after a hard time that you're gonna prevail, things are gonna be good again, you don't have to have a worry in the world, maybe I would have been a little bit more successful. And that's what I tell myself now. This past year, I feel like I've been able to tell myself that, and I've had a really fantastic year because of it. Just be positive, because positivity is really all you have. All right. Julius Herb writes, are you coming to Estonia soon? I'll be in Estonia for the Estonian Open, July 11th through 13th. I'm very excited for it. I love Estonia. I have really good friends there. July 11th through 13th, I'll be in Estonia. Tere tulemast Eestisse. I think I said that right. Logan Maloney asks, if two vegans fight, is it still beef? This is a great question. It's no, it's beyond beef. All right, I'll put a picture in the screen so you understand that. Really bad. Or you could call it a mushroom. Or you could have, no, maybe a mush. This is a great time for my computer to freeze up. Are you kidding me? Come on. No. My computer is absolutely frozen. 1 second. All right, that was really annoying. I was right in the middle of the video and just my computer goes kaput. Fantastic. Come on, I hate when I have to restart my computer because it updates. Oh my gosh. All right, moving on to the next comment. D Lane asks, have you ever accidentally nailed someone with a disc? Of course, playing disc golf for 11 years. So in that time, I have hit some people. But one of the most memorable ones was probably like 1 or 2 years into playing disc golf. I was throwing my inspiration when I was probably 10 or 11 years old was David Wiggins. At the time, he was the kid who shredded, and his signature move was the 360. So that's how I kind of learned how to throw far. I was throwing 360s everywhere. For some reason, I decided to throw a 360 probably from 80 feet away from the basket. My dad was just a little bit right of me. He runs over me, grabs me by the collar, and throws me on the ground and just says, "What are you doing?" And I never did that again. Thanks, Dad, for asking me what I was doing. You put me in my place like I deserved. Kyle Baker asks, what do you think about John Mayer playing with the Dead? It's a good question. I really don't pay that much attention to the Dead and Company. When I want to listen to the Grateful Dead, I just listen to the old Grateful Dead. But I think it's pretty cool. I'll give him a lot of credit, just the fact that he is willing to take on that role. I mean, it's so crazy to think John Mayer, the pop sensation, is playing drawn out jam band music. So like, just the fact that he's showing interest and was willing to learn all the Grateful Dead songs, I think that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna give him a lot of kudos for doing that. Anyone who can appreciate Jerry Garcia's music, or just the Grateful Dead music in general, I'm a big fan of. Tyler Howell asks, I'm currently 790 rated and have been playing for a year. My first rating was 725. How possible do you think it is that I can get to 890 by the end of next year? So Tyler, and everyone out, no matter what your skill level is, don't try to bite off too much. Play within your game and play to your strengths. It wasn't till early this year, or late last year in 2017, playing the Veterans Park Open, I just, for some reason, always tried to do more than I really should. I decided to be more tactful and throw the smart shot in front of me. If I have a 25-footer death putt and I'm not feeling it and I feel like I'm gonna miss it, airball it, I don't know, 50 feet past the basket, maybe that's an exaggeration, but bear with me, 50 feet past the basket, miss my comeback putt, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna lay up. I save a stroke right there. You know what that does? That puts you at more of a level head going into your next shot, your next round, your next tournament, your next season. If you can maintain a level head and a more level playing field across the whole season, across your whole career, you're gradually gonna step higher and higher up. Before not, you're gonna be a fantastic player, very solid, and a lot of people are gonna say only positive things about you. Okay, this is the last comment of day 7 of Vlogmas. I might do 1 or 2 more Q&As depending on how this shapes up. It's kind of an easy way for me to interact with you guys, and yeah, I kind of like it. So the last comment is Matt Criscolo. Did I answer a question by him already? You dog, you got 2 questions in here. One thing I worry about a lot on the course is ticks. Do you guys get a lot? And if so, how do you deal with them? Any repellent sprays? Ticks really are not fun. Ticks aren't fun. That's a big reason why I really enjoy playing on the West Coast and everywhere west of Colorado in general, because you really don't have to worry about ticks that much. But when we're in middle America, East Coast, Europe, there's no way around it. You have to check for ticks. If I know I'm going into a really tick heavy area, I'll just get your basic tick, your off spray or whatever. I'll spray the bottom of my bag, like the bottom half of my bag, my shoes, because likely they're gonna crawl up from your feet up, or they're gonna get carried from your bag. So if you can repel those 2 areas, it's a great idea. I only had 1 tick dig into me, and that was at Konopiste this year. So I'm pretty good at avoiding them, but it's definitely something you gotta pay attention to out on the course, because you really don't wanna mess with any of those nasty diseases that they have, because I know some people who have like Lyme's disease. It's not good, and we wanna keep those things and those diseases away. Okay, guess what, guys? You know that I got a new mystery box today. You know, that means I have more discs to give away, so give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, and I got good news. from this point forward, we are gonna be giving away, or me is going to give away disc every video. You understand me? Yeah, I'm gonna be giving away a disc every episode of Vlogmas until the 24th. So a lot of opportunities for all of you to get your hands on some cool plastic so you can win this disc in tomorrow's edition of Vlogmas. So the question is, what is the question? The question is, oh boy. I don't know what the question is. You know what? There's no question. There's no question. You just gotta write something in the comments. Write something in the comments and I'll pick someone randomly in tomorrow's video. Be on the lookout for this. You could win this DDX. It'll be a good time. I am taking up the living room. My dad wants to watch a Denver Nuggets game, so I gotta go. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, which is tomorrow, keep on dreaming. Peace, guys.